Black Americans, black people, stop going. Honestly, it is not necessary. There is no need of you stressing yourself. Well, a lot of them will see you as if it is not valued. Now, let it make sense to me that you guys organize this particular show and you guys actually want the presence of black people. And then they're appearing in this show. You have the guts, the rights, the temerity, the effrontery to tell them, open your mouth, and you're telling them that you don't need their photos because it's not actually going to go viral. They've selected whoever they want to select. It is just a whole lot. And when I honestly saw this clip, I was like, thank God I don't even attend shows like this. Like, thank God I don't waste my time to be attending shows like this. Like, what is all this? What is all this? Must you have to rub it down to their faces? Anyways, welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Sonia. If this is the first time I tune in, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. And guys, I want you to actually watch this video and let me know your honest thoughts, because right now I am honestly pissed. It is just getting. Let's just watch. I'll be back with commentaries.
All the media.
Well, that's not our fault. That's the information.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like, they're not gonna. What are they gonna do with your photo?
Wow.
No, it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's
It's
crazy.
not gonna go
That
anywhere.
is rude as
No, but I'm saying they're working for the press.
So sorry.
I will no longer be attending the TikTok Awards because I'm tired of being treated like this. This is a TikTok staff member saying, we don't need your photo. What are they going to do with your photo? It's not going to go anywhere. Now, I'm assuming we, when he says we, because he works for TikTok Australia, he's saying TikTok Australia doesn't need our photos. So why are we here? Why are you inviting creators if this is a celebrity event? If that's what you're wanting, then say that. If you're inviting creators to be seat fillers, fill up your audience so that when the TV network plays your event, that they see that there's so many people there, then let the creators know that they're being invited as audience members and not as content creators. Don't go treating people like shit and then prioritizing whoever you choose over other creators. Every year that I've been to the awards, they always have two separate carpets. They have a media wall, which you can kind of just get in fast, get your photo. And then they have another one where you can get interviews. They'll usually have people interviewing content creators. That's how last year the whole Is Being an Influencer Hard video went viral. That's the interviews they do. I've spoken to other creators about how they get to that interview stage, because me personally, I've always just stayed in the background and I've never felt that I could go to the media wars, because to be honest, in Australia, like, black content creators, they don't know us like that. This year, I thought, I've been in the background the last 3 years I've attended. I might as well just try to do an interview. I might as well just try to be more involved with the press side of things, you know? Because again, one of the biggest things that we struggle with as black creators is being seen in Australian media. When you see these articles about TikTok content creators, you're rarely seeing the black content creators, because we're not going to do these interviews at the events. We're not going to speak to press. We're not being seen on these articles as Australian TikTok content creators. In fact, the biggest question I get,
I was going to say, the most common thing you guys say to me when you meet me in real life is this:
I didn't know that you're from Australia. I thought you were from the UK, or I thought you lived in the US. And why do they think that? Because they don't see us in Australian media. How this whole thing happened is, we heard that there's a media wall upstairs. We went upstairs. Again, there's no security that's like stopping you. It's not barred off or anything. We line up, get to the front, and one of the, I guess, staff members was like, oh, are you a nominee or a presenter? And I was like, no, we're just content creators. And then she goes, oh, sorry, they're only wanting to interview nominees and presenters. I was just kind of like, oh, because I saw someone that I'm mutuals with, they're doing an interview. They weren't a nominee. They weren't a presenter. They were, like me, a content creator that was invited to attend. It was just a bit like, oh. But anyways, the lady goes, but if you guys want to take photos, you can just go over there. She points at the wall where there's the photographers, and she's like, I can guide you guys there, but if you just want your photo taken, you can go there. So we went to line up in that section because we're like, oh, okay, if the press don't want to do interviews with creators this year, let's go take a photo. The photographer that was there, he was kind of like, you're not supposed to enter from this way, like the way where we were. And we just told him, oh, we were told to come here. And I guess he was a bit confused, but he just continued taking photos anyways. And then everyone else from the media, like that were doing interviews, they were coming through. So there's a photographer was taking their photos. So we're just standing there and waiting. This man approached with so much aggression. The thing is, it wasn't only us in the line. There was other people behind us. And he came directly to us, like he was speaking directly to us when he said that.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know why they told us to
Nah, don't come through this way.
I know.
There's a system. There's a really good system.
Sorry guys, we're gonna have to go down the
No, so okay, we were over there, and then the lady said that you guys have to come this way because that's for the
media. Yeah.
So then she said, I'll bring you guys here. So then we came here.
Okay, so
That's what we
You don't need to be on the media wall. You don't have to be on the media wall.
Pardon?
If you don't need to be on the media wall, that's why they told you to come
Oh,
here.
no. So basically, we were over there the whole while, and then she told us, obviously, that's for the presenters and media.
Yeah. So's this.
Yeah.
downstairs.
There's a media wall. If you just want to get your photo taken for yourself, go downstairs. Yeah, but this is for all the media.
Well, that's not our fault. That's the information.
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not like they're not gonna. What are they gonna do with your photo? Wow. No, but it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's
But
crazy.
it's not gonna go
That
anywhere.
is rude as
No, but I'm saying they're working
Yeah,
for the
but
press.
Guys, so sorry.
Yeah, but it's not our fault that we're given the wrong information.
That is rude. What did he say? It's not going anywhere.
What?
So we're kind of like, whoa. And we know what he meant by that. What are they gonna do with your photos? Because who are you guys? Because why else would you say, we don't want your photos? What are we going to do with your photo? What are you gonna do with the photos of the people that you're taking photos of? He said what he said. He said it with his chest. And then as we were talking, my friend Maxie takes out her phone to take like a video of his face. Because at this point, I even forgot that I was recording. I forgot because I was recording so that I can hand the phone to my friend Maxie so that she can take videos of me getting my photos taken. But then he approached and it just went like, even after him saying this, we were actually trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, us getting the wrong information was not your fault, but what you just said right there, that's your fault. When he noticed that my friend Maxie was recording him, that's when he turned around, he came back up to us and he goes, guys, I wasn't trying to be nasty. It's just these photographers, they work for the Daily Telegraph. And then he basically put the blame on the photographers, saying like, it's them. Like, they're nasty. They don't want photos of you guys.
Do you know what's gonna happen? These photographers all work for the. I don't. I work for TikTok.
Yeah.
But they all work for the Daily Telegraph, and they're gonna literally just rip everyone's heads off. They'll just go, get out of our way. They're nasty press photographers. They're not nice people.
And guess what, guys? That experience did not only happen to me. It did not only happen to Maxie, Zoe. You know, the people I was with. It did not only happen to them. It also happened to multiple Black creators. And the fact that they were saying that this wall is for nominees and press only, and this is how they treated their only Black nominee. So I actually asked Florence if she's okay with me to share her experience, because she was pretty upset about it yesterday. She was invited by TikTok, flown in by TikTok, because she was nominated as a beauty creator. Guess how they treated her? She told us that the photographer refused to take her photo. Another creator, Aisha, had to step in because, again, guys, I don't know if you ever met Florence. I met her for the first time yesterday. She is honestly the sweetest, most gentle, shy person. It just annoys me that like we have to experience this. She shouldn't be there as a nominee getting yelled at by photographers that you hired TikTok. Daily Telegraph did not just wake up and start taking photos at the event. They spoke to you. No one at TikTok Australia was intervening. So how are you gonna say that this is only for the nominees and press, and you're treating your one black nominee like this? Guys, Florence was so upset. She said that this is her first and last TikTok award. She's not returning. Every black creator that I spoke to said that they're not returning as well. And I hope they make their videos, because this needs to be called out. Eunice, another friend of mine and another black content creator, experienced the same thing. Black content creators are scared to speak up sometimes because the racist Australian public will always go in their comment section, oh, you're playing the victim again, you're playing the victim. We wouldn't be victims if they weren't perpetrators. If you treated people with decency and respect, they wouldn't have to be a victim of your mistreatment. This year was my last award show because no, I'm not gonna do another year of disrespect.
This has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photo. We're not, like, they're not gonna. What are they gonna do with your photo?
Wow.
This has nothing to do with you. We don't need your photos. Yet you're saying this to Australian TikTok creators who the event was created for. Huh? So the TikTok Awards happened yesterday here in Australia, and let's just say it was not it. If you haven't seen Nielle's video yet, or the other girl stories, Zoe, Maxine's, the way some pop creators were treated on yesterday's carpet alone was absolutely disgusting. But long story short, a couple of ethnic pop creators, women of color creators, were told that they were pretty much not good enough to get their pictures taken on the red carpet at yesterday's TikTok Awards, and made to feel less than who they are. Now, it's one thing to say that the carpet was for nominees and media when y'all couldn't even recognize your own nominees, and even told those nominees to get off the carpet and that you didn't want to take a picture of them. Which is really funny to me because I was not nominated, nor am I media, but I walked the carpet. I got my pictures taken and you all smiled in my face. You all moved me to the line, I got my pictures taken. So why was my fellow creators that looked like me, the reason why I started this platform, to speak up for people that looked like me, people that constantly got demonized for being who they are, for their skin color, for their culture, for their religion, treated so poorly? At the end of the day as well, even if the carpet was for nominees and media only, guys, it does not give anybody any right to talk to a human, to talk to a young adult the way that person spoke to the girls at the time, or any other creator that was turned down from that carpet. And it really leaves us asking, why even invite us in those rooms? Why have us in those spaces if we're just gonna be told, you're not good enough? We don't want you. Because that's pretty much what was said yesterday. At the end of the day, we're also creators. Australian creators, for that matter. And it's just really, really disheartening because next TikTok award, I'm good. I'm gonna be at home. And while we're at the topic of pictures not being seen, you might as well delete mine while you're at it.
White woman completely dismissing a POC woman's experience at the TikTok Awards. Like, I saw Katie Brown's video and she's like press and all this sort of stuff, and she basically dismissed Nielle's, Zoe's, Maxine's, like all of their experiences, and belittled it down to rudeness rather than what it truly was, which was racism. Because the way that TikTok employee was talking to them is completely unacceptable. Like, he was so rude. There are so many better ways to communicate that same message, and he could have done that in a way more understanding and neutral tone, but the way he said it was so aggressive. And then you all saw the video, like the way he was just trying to like retract back later on when he realized that they were recording was just, it's just so telling of what his intentions truly were. And it was to really ostracize them from the event. Sorry, I keep stumbling on my words. My wisdom tooth is really hurting and it's making me have a little bit of a lisp. But he was so horrible. If that happened to me, I'm pretty sure I would have cried and then left and never came back. And I literally don't care if this means I never go to a TikTok awards, because that experience, like for a POC creator, is so traumatizing. Why would anybody want to stand and go to an event where you will be treated that way? From a TikTok employee. It wasn't even like a third party or, you know, somebody else saying that. It was from TikTok themselves. That is so
kindness. But if you're a white person like me and you also woke up to hearing about the absolute fuckery of the TikTok awards, especially regarding the women of colour who were treated atrociously and clearly with racism at that event, a fun way I like to show I'm not a white supremacist is to believe these women and show support to these women instead of going into their comment section and trying to deny their experience had happened to them or to try and minimise, justify or excuse what went down. Because you don't get to tell a person of colour who is clearly experiencing racism that you don't personally think as a white person it was actually racist, because you don't get to do that. That's just a play from the white supremacy fucking handbook in the first place. You need to shut the fuck up. If you're not up to date, I have reposted the videos from Maxi, Nael and Florence, and they spoke about their experiences at the event, including being told by a photographer no one would want to see their photos. That photographer clearly needs to get to an optometrist stat, because these women are fucking stunning. Their face cards are fucking dangerous. But we all know it's not about that, and we all know what it's really about. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of these strong black women. They're doing an amazing job doing that themselves. And frankly, my opinion on it isn't valid in the first place. But I can share an opinion on the white people trying to minimize and invalidate their experiences, because it really does come down to racism in the first place, that you feel as a white person that your opinion is more valid than the person of colour who actually experienced racism in the first place. Because I've seen so many comments being like, I say this nicely, but I watched the video and I don't think he intended. You're just not fucking getting it. Bare minimum you can do if you're a white person with all your fucking white privilege and power is to believe people when they share their experiences, because you denying or minimizing it is complicit in the problem. These outwardly displays of racism are not isolated events in Australia, and they certainly wouldn't be isolated incidences to the people of colour who experience microaggressions or aggressions every single day of their life. In fact, it makes up the fucking fabric of Australian culture, racism does, and has done since colonisation. It's disappointing that it happened at the TikTok event, and there are so many people who had a responsibility to do better there, not just the photographer, because these things are not coming from a singular photographer, right? But anybody who denies that these incidences occur frequently are the rule instead of the exception, I just don't fucking believe you, right? These women fucking deserve better, and people of colour who live in Australia and around the world deserve better in general, and there's a lot of systemic changes that need to happen for this to occur. But commenting, denying and excusing or thinking you know better in this situation when you're white, haven't experienced any oppression or racism in your entire existence, is so tone deaf, and it does come from racism and white supremacy in the first place. That's all.
Anyone else in that line to leave? You only backtracked when you saw that there was a camera. Plenty of people there doing interviews, doing the media wall. A lot of those people weren't nominated or presenters. There's like 8,000 people that attend these awards. If you just wanted the nominees and just wanted the presenters to be interviewed and on the media wall, why the hell would you invite everybody else? How can you look these poor women in the eye and tell them, nah, we don't want to take your photo, where will they go? When you're taking photos of people who also aren't nominated and also aren't presenters. Not to mention that one of the girls was actually nominated for a Beauty Creator Award, and you told her to piss off when she also, by your definition, she has every right to be there. How can you tell these girls one thing when they're literally watching their mutuals like go and do interviews and go and do the media wall when they know that they're not nominated or presenters? It's very plain and obvious to see what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Those girls deserve an apology. It's as simple as that. That's like the bare minimum that they deserve. But also, it's these people saying, oh, we just need to create our own awards, you know, we're just not wanted there. That's not the solution. The solution is that we deserve to be there. Okay? We deserve to be there. They worked hard just like every other person in that room. And the people at these conglomerates, such as TikTok and in the media, need to start treating them as equal and not as other. It's disappointing, but we're not surprised. And that's kind of the sad part. We're not surprised. These women work hard, just like any other creator on this platform. They work hard as hell for just an inch of recognition. And in just one fell swoop, this guy just tears that all to shit, making them feel probably embarrassed, probably so just like small when they shouldn't feel that way. Not for 1 second. People of colour are not just there to fill out the diversity quota at your awards event. They shouldn't have to break through ceilings just for you to add another one for them to break through. That's not fair.
Try to keep this level-headed and calm, okay? Because I am not feeling level-headed at all. I want to talk about my experience at the TikTok Awards yesterday. I'm gonna sit down for this because I'm just a little bit nervous. Okay, that's weird because I'm never nervous. What the hell? If you haven't watched Nielle's video, I'm gonna tag her below. She goes into everything in details plus receipts. So I'm just gonna give you a summary. The TikTok Awards yesterday was just not it. It was extremely crowded. So we had 2 media walls. There was a media wall downstairs. So, you know, like the backdrop that says TikTok Award? Yeah. And there was one upstairs. So we went upstairs because the line was, guys, the line. So we decided to go upstairs. The line was still really long. But so we stayed in the line for a while. As soon as we got to the front of the line to take our photos, a lady there stopped us and she was like, sorry, this is just for nominees and presenters only. If you want your photos taken, go to the other side to take your photos. So we were like, okay. She even offered to come with us, but then I don't know, I looked back and she wasn't coming with us. We went to where this lady told us to go to and we're waiting for like the photographer, and he basically just looked at us like, who are these pobos? I'm sorry, I have to laugh, otherwise I'm gonna get really angry because I am really angry. He looked at us and basically refused to take our photos. We're like, okay, we're like, what's going on? So we were just standing there confused, like, what's going on? Because I looked over and there were creators that weren't nominees or presenters having interviews over there. Like, I could see with my own eyes. So a guy from the crowd just walked right up to us and like, he was looking like he was going on a mission. It was just like, you know, we're not taking your photos. And I was like, they told us to come here. Like, what is going on? And he basically turned to us and he said, we don't want your photos. What are we going to do with your photos? Like, who are you, basically? Like, who do you think you are? One thing about me is nobody can make me feel small. Nobody in any industry can make me feel small. We've been dealing with this kind of stuff for many years in this industry. I have been a creator for so long, guys. Everyone gets so surprised when they hear Australian. That's because, like Nielle said, they never see us in media. Because when we want to put our faces there, they'd be like, yeah, sorry, like, who do you think you are? This didn't just happen to us. They also refused to take a photo of a black nominee because I'm sure they're like who the hell? The only reason I'm speaking on this today is because I feel like I owe it to my fellow black creators to, you know, I've been in this industry for a while, guys. Like, if you haven't seen my face, yes, I'm actually Australian. Just really wanted to speak on this and bring everyone's attention to what's happening. The whole thing was so embarrassing, but somehow it wasn't like surprising. This awards is meant to bring people together, not segregate people even further, not to make people feel small and irrelevant. Frankly, that's not cool, okay? I'm a mom of 2 kids, okay? Life is already busy enough. I flew from Melbourne to Sydney to attend the event, did my hair, my makeup, everything. I have laundry that I could be doing at home, okay? I didn't come all this way to be
Good morning to everyone except for the team of TikTok Australia. Another year, another opportunity to create an event to celebrate talent in this country and not having the proper diverse staff and training within your team to handle it. Especially with the women that have come forward that have talked about their bad experience, which they've had on camera about people that work for TikTok speaking to them. For those defending this person saying that he was probably saying this to everyone, you do not speak like that to anyone, regardless if you think they belong or don't belong in these spaces. And many of the people that attended that media wall did not have a large presence on their TikTok, nor were they prominent figures within the media. And it's not surprising watching some of you gaslight black women who come forward to talk about their instances of racism within this industry, because it is always met by dismissal, gaslighting, and this idea to telling these women that they're crazy because who are they to demand respect and equality and basic treatment within these spaces. We're tired of having this conversation. I'm tired, because at the end of the day, these industries would be nothing without talent.
If black women say that they experience racism at your event, we all have to listen. Not just you, all the other creators, because we are all part of this community, and that should not be happening. I've already made my views clear about the TikTok Awards. I thought it was a shambles, it was a disgrace, but having seen some of the stories coming out about the racism that was there is absolutely disgusting, and it takes it to a new level. Probably seen that there's a number of black female creators, some who were actually nominees for an award, have come out and spoken publicly about the racism that they experienced at the TikTok Awards. There's a creator called Niall, I've tagged her below. She got it on video, somebody speaking to her with the most disrespect that you've ever heard. We saw it all. Others said that they were stopped on the red carpet, they were pushed aside, they were told that they weren't needed in photos, and they were treated like they didn't belong there. And they probably deserve to be there more than most of us, because I can honestly say that I have never seen a black Australian creator on my For You page. These people are not being represented fairly on our algorithm and are probably having to go above and beyond and create stuff that's on a different level just to be seen. And then you get people coming out with excuses saying, oh, that's just how it works, they were rude to everybody. Well, this is part of the problem, that we don't want to admit that there is an issue. And when black women come out and speak about racism, it is always downplayed. I've seen people in comments of videos saying, this isn't a thing, I don't think it was racism, are you sure? It's all this doubt and dismissal instead of actually listening to somebody's experience. If you've never experienced racism yourself, you do not get to tell somebody what racism should feel like. TikTok markets itself on diversity, and they love to show inclusion in their campaigns, but that's bullshit if they're not doing it in practice. It just shows that it's for PR. And there's lots of people saying, oh, there's creators out here virtue signaling. I speak up for anybody who I feel is not getting a fair go, which is supposed to be the Australian way. Everybody gets a fair go, but these people aren't. There are always people in the comments downplaying it and dismissing it. But how about you actually listen for a change? To the black women who spoke up, thank you. We hear you and we stand with you, because this is our community. I don't want to be part of a community that treats people the way that you were treated the other night. TikTok, do better, and to everybody else, let's hold them to account, because if somebody in our community is telling us that there's a problem, we have to listen. It's the minute.
Thank God. They know that they cannot. They know. Thank God. That's what I will say, because for someone like me, I'm not going. Like, I don't have that strength. Do you get? Because one thing I find out with these people is they just want to put out the faces of celebrities there, so that at the end of the day, they are going to be like, yeah, they are. I don't want to call the name of the platform, please, but you guys already know the particular platform I'm talking about. They just want to pull out celebrities there, so that when people are saying to them, they'll be like, yeah, they are doing well, they are doing well, they are doing well. But deep down inside there's a lot of things that is happening. How do you go ahead, invite people? People are there. Okay, even if you don't even want to take their pictures, even if you don't want to show their faces, even if you don't want to interview them in the red carpet, but for the fact that some of them actually walk out, there's a way you tell them that they will also understand. Honestly, these are not the first videos I'm seeing with such kind of complaints. I've seen a lot of videos flooding my FYPs with a lot of complaints, just that this one really caught my attention. And it baffles me why you know that you are still being treated like this, and you're still going to spend your money there. You're still going to show your beautiful face, your precious face. You're still going to show it up for them. You're still going to use yourself to make their crowd very elaborate. You can't use me. You can't use me. If you don't value me, I cannot add value to anything that is concerning you. That is why if you check out the video I did about this Nigerian guy, is it Burna Boy or something like that, where this guy literally thinks that he can just talk to Black Americans anyhow, do anyhow, lash on them, and then come back to sell tickets and expect the show to be that successful. And at the end of the day, what did he get? He got a lot of Black Americans showing him that, yeah, we have the money and we are keeping our dollars to our pockets. I think when we start letting these people know that they cannot just come talk to us, just come say anything they want to say, just come use us and go scot free, I think a lot of them will start learning the hard way. They'll start learning the hard way. Because, like, what is all that? What is all that? And when you go online, you see a lot of people complaining the same thing. They will choose those ones that they feel that they know that their face is very, very popular. Their face is very, very well known. Their face is very, very general. Those are the people they will choose. And then you expect me to come and join your crowd and be clapping. I will not try it. I will not. Anyways, black people, let me know what you think. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like this video, drop me your comments, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And yeah, with no further ado, like I say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye, and I'll see you guys in my next one. But just let me know your honest opinion, please. If your place you're supposed to go to is not necessary, please do not go. Don't go and spend your money. Don't go and waste your money on anybody. Keep your money to yourself, honestly. Bye, guys.